Tension in Anambra as IPOB DS security agencies. La Vogue International School celebrates Children's Day. Japan attack, child among 3 dead in Kawasaki stabbing. Europe's leaders launch fight for EU top jobs in Brussels. And Malaysia returns 3,000 tons of plastic waste to US, France, others. Parliamentary election begins in Madagascar. And Trump-Abe inspects Japanese largest warship. Death toll from Brazil's prison fight hits 57. On to sports, courts order substituted service of charges on Amaju Pinnick for others. This is the World News. Thanks for joining us. I am Priscilla Iwerm. Now the news in detail. There is tension in Anambra State as a result of threat issued by the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra to security agencies over the enforcement of its May 30th sit-at-home order. In a statement yesterday in Akwa, the Anambra State capital, the outlawed association said that no intimidation and harassment as security operatives would make its members to withdraw the planned enforcement of its orders. However, the police commissioner Mustafa Dandara warned the Biafran agitators not to dear security agency. He stated that the police would not tolerate any breach of the law by any group. Meanwhile, in a statement by Police Public Relations Officer Mohammed Haruna, the police chief reminded those threatening fire and brimstone to know that IPOB has been prescribed. As part of activities to mark the 2019 Children's Day, La Vogue International Schools took a step forward to show the children how important they are to their parents and the society at large. Correspondent Zuera Hamzat was at the organized children's party and tells us more.
Every year, the 27th of May is set aside by the United Nations as International Day for Children around the world, a day where children are celebrated by all and sundry, while issues concerning their welfare form major focus of discourse. In the light of this year's Children's Day, La Vogue International School organized a Children's Day party for its pupils and other school children in an environment of fun and relaxation. The children were all filled with excitement as they participated in different activities such as cultural dance, march past, dancing, blowing balloons, and many more. While some of them spoke on what they understand by Children's Day celebration and why children should be celebrated.
We did celebrate children, the young ones, the future of tomorrow. My children, they understand that it is the day children are celebrated, they are encouraged, and they are being praised and all. Children's Day is a day celebrated for children all around. Children's Day is the day when children are being celebrated around the world.
Now you do the two of them. But this is what you have.
Children should be celebrated, one, because they are blessings from God. Secondly, because it isn't easy for a child to be raised by parents. Children should be celebrated because God has given
The director of the school, Mrs. Julian Onovala, who spoke on the essence of the Children's Day celebration, also gave words of advice to all the children around the world.
Well, Children's Day is a day set aside in Nigeria to celebrate the children. May 27th, to be specific, is dedicated to the celebration of Nigerian children. as we all know, children are the heritage of the Lord. And so as the heritage of the Lord, parents are admonished to please bring up these children in the way of the Lord, so that when they grow old, they will not depart from it. And to the children, please be obedient to instructions. The Bible, the word of God says, children, obey your parents so that your day can be long on the surface of the earth. You want to live long, you want to succeed in life, obey instructions. Obey your teachers, obey your parents, obey the elderly, because the elderly must have acquired so much wisdom that when you listen to them, it will help you to succeed in life. So today is a day we celebrate the gift of the children, because you cannot buy with money. And so it's a day separated out for us to celebrate the future of our children.
I'm Zoira Hamza, TVN News.
A knife-wielding man has attacked a group of school children waiting to board a bus in Japanese city of Kawasaki near Tokyo. At least 18 people were injured in a residential area. 2 of them, an 11-year-old girl and a 39-year-old man, died consequently. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe condemned the attack, saying he felt strong anger against it. EU leaders are heading to Brussels to assess the post-election political landscape and consider rival candidates for the EU's top jobs. The haggling over jobs, including a replacement for EU Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker, is likely to last several months. The European Parliament elections boosted nationalists, the Greens and Liberals. Malaysia will send as much as 3,000 tons of plastic waste back to the countries it came from, the Environment Minister stated on Tuesday. Malaysia last year became the world's main destination for plastic waste after China banned its import, disrupting the flow of more than 7 million tons of trash a year. Dozens of recycling factories have cropped up in Malaysia, many without operating licenses, and communities have complained of environmental problems. Ye Biying, Minister of Energy, Technology, Science, Environment and Climate Change, said 30 containers of trash that had been imported illegally would be sent back. Voting got underway in Madagascar on Monday in a parliamentary election which will elect 151 members of the country's National Assembly. A total of 810 candidates are competing for 151 seats at the National Assembly, according to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Meanwhile, 10,302,194 voters registered in the voter list headed to the polls in 25,388 polling stations throughout the island, the INEC revealed. Polling stations opened at 6 a.m. local time and will close at 5 p.m. local time. Reporters gathered that there were low turnout of voters compared to November election. U.S. President Donald Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on Tuesday jointly inspected Japan's largest warship south of Tokyo at the Yokosuka-based Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force. Aboard the Japanese JS Kaja destroyer, a helicopter carrier designed to carry some maritime hunting helicopters to distant waters. Trump, winding up his 4-day state visit to Japan, made a joint speech with Abe to address some 500 Japanese and U.S. personnel inside the warship hangar. The death toll from recent prison fight in northern Brazil reached 57 as prison wardens found the bodies of 42 inmates in 4 prisons. A fight between inmates during visiting hours led to the death of 15 inmates on Sunday at the Anicojobim prison complex in the city of Manaus in the state of Amazonas. The inmates were strangled to death or stabbed with toothbrushes. And now to sports. The Federal High Court in Abuja on Tuesday ordered the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, and 4 other officers charged with fraud involving the sums of $8.4 million and 4 billion naira to be served with the copies of the charges through their offices. Justice Ijoma Ojukwu made the order for substituted service of the charges on the defendants on Tuesday after the prosecuting counsel, Dr. Celsius Okpong, complained that the defendants, who are all NFF officials, had been evading personal service. Okpong, who is prosecuting the case on behalf of the Special Presidential Investigation Panel and the Recovery of Public Property, said the defendants were granted bail by all efforts to get them served with the charges and proved abortive. And that was the world news. Thank you so much for watching. I am Priscilla Igwerum. Good evening.